Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Next Play Investor Show. Here at Next Play, we discuss all categories of investing, and which is such as real estate, stocks, business, insurance, and infinite banking. We're a group of investors with one common goal and common mission in mind, and that is to create generational wealth. We're here live every Sunday from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So take the time to share, like, subscribe, and send somebody else the broadcast. Our replays are available on YouTube at Next Play Investors, Instagram Next Play Investors, and Facebook, of course, at Next Play Investors. Join the group, um, get in and get live, and actually see what we're talking about and doing everything, and be able to come back every week and watch it and check out what we talked about new and different. Well, let's get the show started. Welcome to the former Next Play Investors.
Happened this weekend.
Oh man, what
You
y'all got
okay?
going on? What
Told you
y'all
that
got
boy
going
couldn't drive, DJ.
on? Ooh, that's
What
rough.
happened?
Man, hell, he said he don't know what happened.
Man, we live. What's happening, fellas? What happening, fellas? What happening, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's
All
going
right, all
on,
right.
everybody?
Everybody good. Everybody
Next
good.
play, next play, next play. The crew.
So
I'm
Next
about to share
play.
the
I know
video.
I might have talked to y'all a minute ago. How y'all weekend been, man?
Oh man, wonderful, wonderful.
I'm in great, man. So far, so good,
Congratulations.
man. So far, so good.
I keep seeing all these sub sandwiches commercial, boy, making me hungry.
Man, so he hungry.
Thanks
Yeah.
to
Oh,
We're
Sam,
talking about doing everything and be
and
able to
all that
come back
information
every
went
week.
live.
this commercial, boy, making me
Said
hungry.
what?
Man, so he
Yeah.
hungry.
They just went.
Thanks to
All that was Sam.
What was?
Be
And
able
all
to
that
come back
information
every
went
week.
live.
this commercial, boy, making me
No.
hungry.
Yeah.
Boy,
Just went.
stop.
All that was Sam.
What was?
And all that information went live.
Why, everybody ready to go now?
Yeah.
Boy, stop.
It
What
is
was?
wild in effect, my
Why,
boy.
everybody ready to go now?
Everybody ready to go.
Lord.
Martinez over there talking about
Boy, stop.
It
Martinez over there
is
talking about
wild in effect, my
Why,
boy.
everybody ready to go now?
everybody ready to go.
Lord.
Martinez over there talking about
Okay, so we in here.
we all
All
in
right.
good,
Let me
man.
get in here on his
Yeah,
Facebook.
make sure I'm sharing, I'm liking,
Like and share,
Yeah.
like and share, like
like
and
and
share.
share. I'm getting it.
Let me get here. Let me get here.
See if I can get it all tuned up where I could
Let me in.
Next
if I
play.
can get out. I want to. Oh, I'm
Hey
sharing
man,
it back to the group.
shoot,
Is
we
this
already
us?
good. We
Yeah.
already good. I shared it
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
You did. You
Mm-hmm.
shared it on my page too.
I didn't get your page.
I got mine real quick.
That way
Let me like.
I
Yeah,
want
everybody
to
that.
send it
good to
out
go.
to
Hey man,
Yeah.
Mark Monroe and everybody, and get that out there to the whole Mo gang and everybody. All right, I'm in. Okay,
Let me
boom.
see where we at now today.
All right.
No.
Hey, I like that shirt, man. Failure is not an option.
oh, you like that?
Yeah, where'd you get that from?
Oh man, I think this is a Franco creation.
Really?
Yeah,
That looks really nice.
yeah, this is a Franco creation.
How can I get me one, sir?
Oh man, you give me 19.99, I'll make you one real simple, sir. They gonna soon to be online. This is a
Okay.
Franco creation. You know what I mean?
You have anywhere I could see what else you have?
And we coming. We still building this next product and service, so we not ready to tell you about it. We just wearing the shirt so everybody can actually start to see the quality of the work. So it's not one of them things that is fully ready to launch yet, because
Mm.
we trying to do a lot of stuff. But I definitely got you one, sir. You know what I mean? This is a Franco
Yeah,
original.
I definitely give you 19 because failure is definitely not an option.
Yeah, failure is not an option. We gonna
What made you come up with that? What sparked that?
man. The craziest part about it is. Man, I be over here in my house. Sometimes I be going crazy, and I just be thinking of all kinds of shit to go on in life. And
Mhm.
it was I was looking at all the stuff that I have, the hurdles and valleys and pits and snakes and whales and sharks and shit, man. I got to thinking about it. I can't let neither one of them get me. So I can't fail. You know, I was watching this movie, The Squid Game, and it made me,
No,
man.
that's Netflix number one show. You know
You
that,
know,
right?
I watched that movie, man, and that movie really motivated me to think about this whole thing because in order to win the game, you can't fail. You got to be willing to do whatever the hell you got to do to get to the goddamn end. Excuse my language, I know we live, but this is just a real moment. And the
Yeah,
moment is, you know, you got to be willing to do whatever you got to do not to fail. If you got to
yeah,
learn everything, if you got to stay up, if you got to change your habits, if you got to, whatever you got to do, even if you got to go fight in a courtroom, if you got to go do whatever you got to do, get rid of people, the whole nine. You know, it's a situation where if you trying to win and you really trying to do what you say you trying to do, failure is not an option. You ain't got the choice that you can't even choose that if you wanted to. You can't say I give up. You can't say I got time to do something else. You can't say I ain't got time today, cause failure is not an option. It ain't even on the list. Cause you gotta win. You know the
Wow.
only way you can fail is if you die. So
Ooh.
you know what I
mm,
mean. And when you die, you know you still didn't fail. You just lived a cycle of life. So you know that's why sitting over here in the house sometime I have epiphanies and shit.
All right. All right. Dope.
all
Dope.
right,
Dope.
So it be real
Dope.
crazy over here.
man. My daughter turned me on to that. So,
Really?
mm-hmm,
Hmm.
about 2 weeks ago.
Failure is not an option.
Failure's not an option.
Nah, that Squid, whatever game,
Oh,
whatever it is.
Squid Game. Yeah, you gotta. I
How
watched
did
it
how did Squid Game come into failure is not an option though?
because in the game
Because in order to win the game, you
you
got to
gotta
do
be,
whatever it
you
takes.
gotta do whatever it takes, and that's what I was watching when I thought of this shirt. When I was watching that game and to realize that them in order to they was playing for money. I'm playing for my life. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
And to realize that they all they chasing is money, and we know how to make money because this is what the whole group is about. So that ain't even something you got to. They was chasing money because they were broke and they was in debt. They didn't know how to make money because all their life they got money from the government or whatever little job they had. You know what I'm saying? Or they gambled or whatever they did to get money. And in the end, the people offered them a way out by playing these games to win all this money to get out of their situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole premise of the whole thing is this: you got to be willing to do some sick stuff. You got to be willing
mm-hmm.
to cut down the next man. You know what I'm saying? To win in this game. Well,
Is that's in the Squid Game?
that's in the
Yeah.
Squid Game. But we talked about this, and I think as people, I say this, and I'll be the one to say this. We have we have proven, I think, to everyone that we can be here every week. We have proven that we gonna be here teaching and giving knowledge about what we learning about the stocks and what we doing for the people. So that's also where it plays back in because now we learning group economics and working together. You know what I'm saying, and being able to communicate and do things. Failure still is not an option because even you don't have to have the mind frame of you got to kill the next man. You know what I'm saying, to win in the game too. But the whole point of the matter is now, even learning group economics and working in a group, failure still not an option. You see what I'm saying? So it plays into it. You don't have the option to choose to fail. If you choose that, that's your fault.
Mm.
Cool.
You know what I mean? In any situation, even if you dog eat dog, you can't fail. And then even as a group of
Ooh.
people working together, men or women, you still can't fail. Because you gotta be able to work with men and women that's not gonna fail. That got the same attitude of I ain't trying to fail either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many, because you can't have somebody that's thinking, oh, I might fail, and put them with somebody that thinking they ain't trying to fail, they ain't go. That's not gonna make a combination of a
The
winning
chemistry.
attitude. Yeah. So failure is not an option. Period. That's
Yep.
it.
Okay.
That's
All right.
it. That's it.
All right.
Oh, we appreciate that. Failure's not an option yet. It's all on the
Failure
shirt.
not an option, man.
Oh, but I want you to know Apple's at 141.
That's what's
Hey,
up.
man. Hey, it's good. It's a good deal. It's a good deal.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and get the next play show started
Let's get it.
on
Where
10
Nicole at?
3 21.
Cold in them streets.
And she cold? I don't know. But it's 10 3 21. Another glorious day.
Yes, sir.
If you're just not tuning in, like, subscribe, share the channel,
Ring the bell. Nah, just
ring
joking.
the bell. Yeah, we're here every Sunday consistently, like Franco just said,
Yeah.
consistently every Sunday, except for holidays at 7:30. And we'd like for you to view us either on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So check us out. We're Next Play Investors. And we talk about investing in stocks, real estate, business, there's all sorts of ways of investing. So right now we're going to get the show started. And we like to start off by giving some success stories from the group. And we'll go around the board. Everybody just, talk about success they had this week, whether it be in life, whether it be in investing, just any type of positive information is always good. And we just build upon that. So I'll start off this week. I was able to get my 2 infinite banking policies for my kids. So they are in the infinite banking world now.
That's
And
what's up.
that's what's up. That's what's up. They were easy because they were young and the policy wasn't too expensive. So it was a shoe in. Policy looks good. I went over everything, and maybe in the future we'll share. Well, I'm going to actually have the guy who set it up on, and I'll let him talk about infinite banking. But got those 2 in. We talked about it in previous shows. If you hadn't seen the infinite banking shows, you can definitely view those on YouTube and the life insurance show that we did a while back. Also, I was able to close my last 3 units in Augusta, Georgia. So after 17 years of real estate investing in Augusta, Georgia, salute.
See you.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah. We're out and we're on to bigger and better things. And one of those things is finding tax lien properties. And Sam and I were out today in DeKalb County, Georgia, actually looking at those properties. I dropped a video just before the show, so you can kind of see us touring around. We looked at roughly about 20 properties today. We were able to find 10 that we're interested in bidding on. And if no one doesn't know anything about tax lien properties, it's where someone hasn't paid their property taxes on their property, and the sheriff, or just say the government, is about to sell what's called a tax lien. And if you purchase that tax lien, you either have a chance of owning that property for the taxes or getting a 18 to 20% return on your money. So it's just another way of investing, and definitely something you may want to take a look at doing. Great rate of returns, and it's guaranteed.
Yep.
Through the government. So it was a real eventful trip. We saw some pretty rough neighborhoods. Some were good. Some of them, the property wasn't there. And that's one key thing we learned. Don't just go by Google. Actually drive out, take a look at the property, because some of the properties had addresses. And when we got there was nothing there.
Wait a minute.
Other than
Tell me
that,
more about that. Tell me more about that. Like, how
about
the property not be there and they got it
and
listed?
it has an
So
address.
explain that to me, man. Come on now.
Well, the way that works is Number one, it could be just a partial. Sometimes you'll find land that is nestled between two houses, and it actually have a property address. So it may be maybe 0.002 of an acre, but it's just sitting there, and no one's paid the taxes on it, and it pops up. And what happens sometimes, people from out of state will be bidding on that property thinking that they're bidding on the house. And it could be several bidders bidding on that parcel. It may be $800 for the tax lien. But when the bidders get involved, they may bid it all the way up to $3,000 to $5,000. And once you win that bid, that little small parcel belongs to you. Sometimes it's homeowners association liens. I knew someone personally who bidded on one of those homeowner association liens.
I mean, Sam, what you got?
Oh, me and Stacy, when we were looking at these properties, and we were trying to figure out why in the heck did they have these addresses, but there was no house there. It was just a lot. And I came back home, did some research on it, and now I figured out why it has an address. The reason it has an address and it pops up on there is when they originally come in and they're developing the subdivision, it's because they have to pull a plaque. Every lot has to have an address. That's how it has an address, but it doesn't have to have a house on it yet. And ends up being one of the lots that has not been built on, but it still has an physical address. That's why the address comes in there.
Martin, so what you got?
And just like they said, I owned one of those little strips before. Just like they said, if you don't do your homework, you will be stuck with that strip. And I was stuck with it for a minute. I got lucky.
How you got your strip?
Same way through the tax lien, but I didn't do my homework on that because, like Stacey said, it was cheap. So I got it for like $1,500. But I didn't do my homework on it. Just like I thought it was actually like a part of the land to a house or something. But it's actually, it ran kind of crazy. It ran from 3 houses in their backyard. It was on the backside of their property. But luckily, it ran all the way down into a commercial property where a lady had a nursery and she had started adding on. And due to she added on, I think because of the
encroachment.
Yeah, she built into it. It don't could be so close to somebody's property. So the lady actually ended up had to buy the property from us, or she would have to tear down that section. So
were you nice? Were you nice to the lady?
Got lucky. Yeah, so you have to be cautious of that. Just like they say, when you're doing that, you got to go out and do your footwork. You got to, or you will bite the bullet.
Yeah. What about the gas station you bought?
Oh, the gas station was nice. That was the gold mine. Yeah. It was just the property. Got for about $7,000. The property had a billboard on it, so every year they had to pay $2,100 just for that billboard being on the land. That's the agreement I made with the billboard company. Also, when you, like he said, when you own that property, it takes a year before you can actually get the paper in hand for it. So that gives the owner time to pay for the property, and you get 20% on top of it, whatever you know what I'm saying, you won for in the auction. But we sat on that one for years and just wrote the billboard for a minute. The billboard was vacation money every year.
So in other words, it had a year's redemption period, right?
Yeah, you got 1 year. Either 1 year they pay all that money back, plus the 20%, and if they don't pay anything, you get the title. You get the deed.
Yep. And then you can take the deed, and now the house belongs to you for $7,000, and
Mr. Questa,
you can go to work.
Hey, Mr. Questa.
Hey.
Thanks for this.
You're welcome. I have one as well.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's been. It's been an experience.
What happened?
What happened?
So yeah, of course. We bought one maybe 2 years ago, And so, the government here in South Carolina decided that he wasn't going to have them pay back last year. So we make $0 for, is it 20?
That's 2 years.
2021.
Okay.
2021?
Yeah. No, 2020.
2020?
It had to be 2020, yeah.
Okay. So for 2020, we get no money.
What?
Huh?
So is that
So
is it
it's
because-
carrying the
so-
interest
so-
rate over from the next year?
So what is
Hold
that?
on. What you say now?
Are you going to get a higher interest return on it, or is it, all that's gone too?
We get our return back from the first year, which I believe was
Are they
2019.
using COVID for that?
Right. So they gave them an extension.
Yeah, they give.
And he still hadn't paid yet. And another thing is, so we was learning, so we didn't go look at the property either. But what we looked at, we looked at the property, but it's so weird. They'll couple properties together. So we got a property that we thought we had, but we didn't get. We got another one.
Oh,
So during the bid phase, he'd be like, well, we're going to couple, this person owes taxes on 2 different plans. We're going to couple that together, but you don't know which one you're getting until you go to pay for it. Then there's a printout at the bottom. This is South Carolina, of what property it is that you're going to have. So it ended up being the other property. And so we was like, ugh.
Oh, no.
You sure they ain't do the switcheroo on y'all?
Well,
It sound like.
I'm gonna tell you.
Sound like she fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
No, they got a rule. I was just hearing about this because I'm just learning about it too. I don't have a property yet, but I was just talking about it. And I've been doing research. They got a rule. It's called second bidder rule, where somebody can come out and bid you in some of these states. So that could have happened to you, where somebody outbid you for the other actual property, because that they got a rule like in Georgia that you can't get outbidded. But I've been hearing it in some sources that I've been listening to, like some of these states got it where people can outbid you even after you bought the property. So it depends. It's a case by case scenario on what state, because it just depends on what the state rules. Because like when I was checking out another guy that I listened to. In St. Louis, it's longer than a year. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like different states have different requirements and things that they can actually do.
Even here, it's different counties.
Yeah.
Different counties. So the county that I did is different.
Yeah.
You can't have to be. We didn't know, but it either have to be cash or wire.
Because I was hearing about that some of these counties want you to put up the money in a earnest fund before you can even go to the court steps. You can't even, you know what I'm saying? Some of these states and counties are making you put up collateral before you even go get actual being able to go to the courthouse stuff. So like I said, I don't have one yet. I'm learning the process because I got real interested in it in the last couple like weeks, and so but it's interesting to hear y'all's story about it. Go ahead, Mar.
And you still have to pay once you in it. You got to pay taxes on it too, or else somebody else will come get you.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
I don't have a couple people got that way.
For real?
Yeah. So you got to be cautious. Hey, don't think that because you got the property that, hey, I got this piece of property, it's going to be a quick turnover. No. You got to continue to pay taxes until you figure out what you're going to do with it.
Well, I ain't going to tell you I'm finna try to buy out the block. I'm going to the block. Hey, I'm trying to buy out the block.
He going in. He's going to buy the whole thing.
I want to go buy up all the block. I want to go buy up all the neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah. There be some heavy hitters in there.
Yeah.
You got some.
Like you said, it's some major companies out there. Them houses, they go hard on those houses.
Yes, they got some major ones out there.
I'm going to buy the one where the trap spot be. You know what I'm
they
saying?
Don't care.
Hey,
man, I'm going to buy the one where the trap spot be.
They don't care.
I mean, listen, I like my people. If they gonna stay there, I want to help them stay there.
And you know who mainly it is? It's a lot of Asians. They got them companies. They coming for them properties. Most people bidding for them houses. You bidding against them Asians.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to help my people.
And I was told that if you get a property with a house on it and they got a lien on it, that's just you got to pay that lien off. That you inherit that lien.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you do.
You got to take care of that.
Well, it depends on the type of lien too, though.
Right. Well, you inherit it, so however way it goes, it's yours.
Like an IRS lien, that one you're going to inherit. But I think if it's like a contractor's lien, those fall off. But I believe the government liens, they stay on.
Well, here is by county, so it's whatever your county say.
You're right.
Whatever your county say you got to do, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I went and looked at some properties yesterday, not today, but the ones I looked at yesterday. Frank was talking about the trap. I was in the grap.
But you was over there zone 6, baby.
Let me tell you.
Hey, my man was over there on the other side.
That's zone 6.
First of all, I was all geeked up because it was a multi-family property, and it was, I don't know, I think it probably was like $1,000, and it was the truck stop was right here, and it was a road right next to the truck stop, and then the interstate, you get on the interstate. So the road was between the interstate entrance, the truck stop. It was a small road, one way in, one way out. But when you went in there, you wanted to get out. I promise. That jump.
It was just $1,000.
Hit them up.
Huh?
How much was it?
Hit them up.
It's like $1,000, man. But man, you got that jump was crazy. I'm talking about abandoned buildings. I was a lot of abandoned buildings. You saw burglar bars everywhere. You didn't see anybody, but here's the crazy part. You didn't see anybody walking around on the street. But when we was driving down there, looking at those properties, you saw cars start moving. You see cars pull out of the cul-de-sac, and you start looking, and then the cars in there were all high-end cars, Dodge Chargers,
Dope boyfriend.
Man, let me tell you. Yeah, I eased on out of there real quick. But I know right here is like 4 or 5 counties that are coming up on Tuesday. And I just look, it's so many houses. I looked in DeKalb County. I went through the list. It was 180 something properties on that list. I narrowed it down to probably maybe about 30 out of that list. And I still hadn't even looked at all 30 of them. And the sale is on Tuesday. So, and like Sequester said, it's going to be them heavy hitters out there.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably going to run the bid up, but at least I got to try. I got to, like Frank said, failure is not an option. So I got to at least go out there and, try. You might get lucky. You never know.
Well, that's what I was saying. Just like in Clayton County, that's what I did. It was Clayton. They was aiming for them houses. They was aiming hard for them. That's why the land was just slipped right through.
Right. Or businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do the businesses too.
Really?
Yeah, because they had a cement company here that didn't pay their taxes. But they probably was behind. Yeah, it was a bunch of companies on that.
See, that would be a good one because they go pay.
They gonna pay. Right. But them heavy hitters, they knock you down. They go good 500,000.
But see, you know what they do? The reason why they run it up because they want that 20% return on their money. That's it. So they're running. They think about it. What you say, Frank?
That's crazy because like I was, we had that discussion about that 20%. You can't get a return on your money. Like even if they come back and buy it and pay for it, it's still a good deal.
Within a year, yeah.
Because when you look at the
you can't get that at the bank.
Yeah, that's what we and Stacy, me and Stacy were talking about this the other day, and that's what I was like, man, you know something? That's a crazy rate of return. You know what I mean? Even if you just buy it and flip them, if you got 5 or 6 of them and you can afford to buy them and flip them, and buy 5 or 6 tax lien, if they come and get them in a year, you gonna make more money you're gonna make more return on your money than you would if you had it anywhere else. And that's the crazy part of it.
Even on your stocks right now, I don't know about you guys, but on mine, it went anywhere between 5 and 8%. I'm out of it anyway. I'm taking my profit and rolling to the next. So I still higher than the percentage of what I'm trading out and coming back in for.
But that's the crazy
20 is
part.
high.
Like when you look at the percentage of what you want to rate of return, everybody, I guess, a lot of people come from thinking you're supposed to get 50%. And it ain't, you know what I mean? Like when you think about it, you like it's betting odds. Like, nah, that ain't how this works. The whole process of building money is small percentages and using compound interest. That
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? When you look at it, like you think about it, like you got 10 properties on tax liens as well as one. And there's one. Me and the person was talking. Stacy was talking. You know what I'm saying? And one of them hit, and you actually get the property.
Right, look.
You up?
You
And see, well, even with that gas station, if I would have waited long, even the realtor can't tell. Somebody came back and bought their property for $150,000.
How much you had tied up in it?
7. They licked because of the gas station. They went down there. They inspected the tanks at the bottom. The tanks were good.
Right. And but see that 150, I mean, with the 150 coming in, man, that just opens up a whole lot of doors because you can live off of that 150, me, for about 4 years.
But now I'm saying we sold it way much cheaper. The guy that bought it from us turned around and sold it for $150.
Wow.
mm,
Mm-mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, it's all a learning experience.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
that's the whole reason why all of us become investors is trying to make money. You know what I mean? And invest it in. You don't win all of them. I don't care.
Nope.
I don't care. I don't care how good a loaded dice you got. The cards you dealt. You can't win all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Some
know.
you gonna win, some you gonna lose.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
got to try to
Yeah.
win more than what you lose.
Yeah. So who got the next success story?
anybody want to go next? They can.
All right. This
Cause
week,
I
man.
have one.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all the success story I had this week, man. Uh, it go back to the same thing with failure not an option. But what I did, man, I've been really working on this product still again, and I'm back with it. I finished another project at a house up in in Smyrna, so we got that taken care of, which is a good thing. Been a pretty good week. Me and my daughter went to Six Flags this weekend, had some fun. It had a little spent time together like we always do. So that's always a success when I'm around the kids, because the whole purpose of generating, for me, the whole purpose of doing generational wealth is really just to be able to pass it to the next generation and not try to create trauma from what other people did. So it's one of those
Oh yeah.
things. But as far as that, man, and it's pretty good, man. I got a couple of things I got a chance to work on this weekend, man, as far as like continuing to build out some other endeavors and fun and different things like that. I'm back working good because my leg is actually healed. So after the motorcycle foray, I'm back, baby.
Evil Knievel.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Slow down, Turbo. Slow down.
But yeah, man, this week has been pretty good. I mean, like I tell you, man, even with that, like I had to realize this week, man, I'm hurt and I'm like, I got a job to do and I can't, you know what I mean? And I got to get up and go to work. So it was like, shit, get out there and do it. You ain't got time to really, you know what I mean, do nothing else. Let's get it done. I mean, you ain't got, different scenarios of help is not available. Guess what? You gotta step in, and so that's why this shirt is so important this week. Like it's crazy. The success story is you can make your body do whatever you want it to do if you really wanted to do it. And that
Mm-hmm.
and that's just really where it is. But yeah, that's my success story, man. We got a lot of stuff done this week. Focused on trying to continue to keep it done, man. And we got a lot of things accomplished this week. I got some other things accomplished, and just really good week, man, for me this week. Happy spirit. I might have lost some money on the stock market, but shit.
Nah. Nah, you didn't. You all right. Yeah. So I guess My turn to go.
Yeah, your turn, man. Please go. Please.
All right, because I've been dying to tell you.
Please go, Sam.
No, man. I mean, of course, you guys know that I came back in for Philadelphia. My cousin passed from COVID, and I went up to Philadelphia to be with my family, and support them and support whatnot. But on the way back, like I said, like Franco was just saying, like failure is not an option. I mean, he's going on to a better place, and we're still here. So we still have to keep pushing forward and try to make lives better for, our kids behind us, generations behind us. So that being said, while I was flying on the plane, I was looking through this magazine, of course, and you can use a little bit of anything to spark your interest in stuff. And like I say, your plays for your stocks and for picking stocks and what you want to invest in is all around you. All you got to do is open your eyes. And I use that all the time. And while I was looking, I saw General Motors, an advertisement for General Motors, and it said EV. So I started thinking about it. So when I got home, I got on the computer, started looking at General Motors stocks. I said, okay, I can go ahead and make a play on that. So I bought General Motors. Then I went a step further. I looked at, I said it was EV, General Motors, and I said, okay, EVs gonna be power. So I went back, and I've been talking about power. So I went back and I found me 2 power companies. So I also bought Georgia Power, and I bought Southern Company back again. And I went one step further after that. So now I have those 3, and I went ahead and put another one in my portfolio, is what I'll call it. And I got Generex generators. I put them in that same portfolio, and I call it my Biden EV portfolio. That's what I call it, basically.
Nice.
And I just put it all together that same week, and it's there. So maybe I didn't make any money or anything, but I have that portfolio set up, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna make money, period. And I may pick up another one here and there to put in there, but right now I have 4 solid companies. I know they aren't going anywhere, and I know that the more EV cars that are sold, the more the power company is going to make, which is going to push their stock prices higher. The cars are going to sell because they got to get the gas guzzlers off the highway and put the EVs on. So that's going to make money. So basically this portfolio, by the time that generation is ready, this will be ready for them. So that was my play. So
Okay.
that's what I did.
So that's a long play.
Oh, yeah. For the kids, though.
Okay.
That's definitely going to benefit them.
Nice. Okay. Good deal. Who's next? Is there anyone else? Martinez?
It was a good week. It was a good week. The week. Very busy, very productive week. Very, very, very busy, productive week. I'm tired. I'm happy this weekend I got to put my feet up a little bit. That's all that I can say.
That's all you say. What you been doing, man?
Nah, but twisting and turning with the Amazon, the deliveries.
Okay.
So trying to really take that to the next level, working on that. That give me time this weekend to free up some things and work on that, taking it to the next level with.
Okay. Good deal. Ain't nothing like an Amazon package on my front step.
Bags and bricks.
Man, that's where we want to be, man. That's where we want to be. Amazon all the way. Amazon stock. That's what we need, really, at the end of the day.
Yep.
So cool. And without last week, can't forget the Queen. Queen, do you have anything you want to share?
No, not really. I did one stock this week in the simulator, of course. I do mine in the simulator first. I am not ready to go out to big world.
Okay.
And I just did Boeing, only because my husband told me something about Boeing. And I was like, okay, I'll just look and see if I can get in.
Boeing's a solid company. It's good.
So
Yeah.
I just try Boeing. And
Yeah.
so I'll
Boeing
probably
is
try
solid.
something else later. But right now I'm just getting started and just getting my feet wet and trying to get in and do these stop losses and all these things, put all those things in place so I can learn how to do it, so that when it's time for me to go and do it in the live, I won't be stumbling all over the place. I mean, I even had to learn, listen to this, how to widen the screen so I can see the stocks. Why did they close it in? Because I was just like, why I can't see nothing?
Uh-huh.
I got it, but I felt like I had to watch videos to figure that out.
Hey, that's good. That's progress.
Do whatever you got to do.
Go.
Hey,
I learned that. I learned how to widen and bring it in, and what to use on the side, and putting graphs and bars in and that type of stuff. So that's what I was working on.
Okay.
What did like you guys setting up like charts and all that stuff?
Right. Yeah. How we set up, like if you're going to buy in, even if you're just looking, like say you already picked your companies out, then you go in and chart it and see where it's going to fall, and then you set an alert if you're going to go in.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
good.
So they hadn't taught you about using any tools or anything like that?
What kind of tools?
Like the 50 or the MACD, anything like that? Well, no.
I've never heard of those.
Okay. It's coming.
It's coming. I'm not. I was just asking. I'm not gonna try to.
What are those tools for?
Like buying and selling.
What is it again? What y'all said?
Go ahead. Stacey, my fault.
Oh, no. I was saying, use it to buy in, sell. When to buy in, when to sell.
Tells you how many.
Normally, that's pretty much what all the tools are for, right, Martinez? Would you agree? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's basically just to help you when to buy in, when to sell. It's just like, think of like a measurement. It's basically taking measurements of the actual data that's on the chart, and it's telling you what's a great point, and everybody. It's basically just giving you a better insight on what you're looking at.
A buy-in point, especially the MAC. What is it? The MACD, right?
Yeah.
That lets you know how many people are buying and how many people are selling.
Oh, she teacher is different. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the volume, how many.
But she teachers, she don't use those words. Yeah, I was like, what? She got a whole nother vocabulary of words that she used. Right. Her words, I think it's probably the same idea, buyers and sellers, but buyer levels and seller levels. But I think that's kind of like what y'all talking about. But she just got a different, she just put a different spin on the words.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So more than likely, it sounds like we already, we in this course we already touching on that.
Okay.
In the VIP, it's more advanced.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you learned.
Good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good company. Yeah, this is good companies. All right, so we'll go ahead and get the show started. And right now, I'm about to go over the sectors. And the Dow Jones Industrial, it lost 1.36%. Currently closed at 34,326. The S&P has lost 2.2% and is currently closed at 4,357. And the NASDAQ lost 3.5%, big loser, and is currently closed at 14,792. So all in all, the market was down this week, but that's what it is. Stock market goes up and down, up and down all the time. So this is just part of it. The sectors, number 1 was energy sector. Number 2 was communication services. 3 was materials. 4 was financials. 5 was information technology. 6 was industrials. 7 was real estate. 8 was consumers. 9 was consumer staples. 10 was healthcare. And last was utilities. Down. So the entire market was down, but that's just like the ocean. When the tide is up, everything's up. When the tide is down, everything is down. But that doesn't necessarily mean because the company's stock is down that you have a bad company. Sometimes I'll just say the stock price drops because the entire market is down. So, and that's going to kind of lead me into my next play nugget today. I'm going to talk about Berkshire Hathaway and the breakdown of Berkshire Hathaway. Of course, if you don't know, Berkshire Hathaway is owned by one of the best investors of all time, Mr. Warren Buffett. And I'm going to go over the top 10 companies as of June 30th that's inside of the Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio. And in that portfolio, you have Bank of America, you have Apple, third, you have Coca-Cola, fourth is Heinz Kraft, 5 is the Verizon stock, 6 is American Express. I will say 10, but not 10. And the last one I got is US Bank Corp. Okay. And these companies that I just named, right now the stock price is down on all of these companies, but the value of these companies are still the same. They are still strong. They're still producing revenue. They're still producing dividends. And that's one of the reasons why the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio is so strong, is because of the companies that are inside of the portfolio. And I want to talk about a few of the companies in there and how Warren Buffett makes his money off of these companies by holding these companies pretty much forever. You know, when he buys a stock, his idea is never to sell it, because if it's a good company, his analogy is, why should I sell something that's good? So just to give you guys an idea on how much money he's making off of a few of these companies every year for just holding them inside of the Berkshire portfolio. And we'll take the first one, Apple. So Warren currently has 887 million shares of Apple stock in his portfolio. And Apple pays a 22-cent dividend every quarter. Okay, 22-cent dividend every quarter. So every year that he holds this stock, every year he makes $195 million every year for just holding the stock. That doesn't include the market cap on what the stock is worth, but he has 887 million. So he makes 195 million every year, and he just takes that 195 and just dumps it back in and buys more. And it just keeps compounding forever, because he's never selling the stock. And he bought the company because it's solid and it pays a good dividend. So even though the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ are all down, he's not extremely worried, because he knows the company is a solid company. The next company is Coca-Cola. He owns 400 million shares of Coca-Cola, 400 million. So Coca-Cola pays $1.68 dividend annually every year. So this annual income just from Coca-Cola is 672 million every year. So he could take that money, reinvest it back into Coca-Cola, buy more shares, and again, compounding. Now, this company that I'm about to talk about is Kraft Heinz. If I didn't put the chart up, but Kraft has been in the downtrend for the last 6 or 7 years. Okay, and I'm saying to myself, why does man own 325 million shares of Heinz, Kraft Heinz, which is ketchup, mayo, and a lot of times you'll notice that the companies he owns are always things that we always use. Well, back to Kraft Heinz, I found out that Kraft pays $1.60. So even though Kraft has been on the decline for all these years, it's still paying $1.60 dividend. So he owns 325 million shares. Multiplied by $1.60 is $520 million off of Kraft. So you got a company that's in the downtrend, right? Because where we're taught and where we think, yeah, it's going down. Oh man, that stock is going down. It's not making no money. It's a bum stock. But the whole time it's paying a dividend of $1.60. And people use it every day. It's a solid company. The balance sheet, the earnings per share is strong. So he keeps it even though the stock is declining because he's making $520 million a year. Another thing that's inside of the Berkshire Hathaway that a lot of people may not know about is Warren has a lot of insurance companies inside of his portfolio. And insurance companies are like cash cows. You know, everybody has insurance. You got car insurance, you got health insurance, you got life insurance, you got house insurance, you got insurance on your jewelry, insurance everywhere. So people are constantly sending you money for the insurance policies. And Franklin and I found out that the insurance companies are basically at the top of the food chain because we did some research trying to figure out what insurance companies invest in. You invest in them because they're at the top of the food chain. It's not them investing in something else, but you invest in insurance companies. So in Berkshire, he has the Berkshire Guard insurance companies. He's got Berkshire Hathaway Specialty Insurance, Applied Underwriters, Gateway Underwriters Insurance. He has Geico, and a lot of us heard of Geico. He's got General RE, he's got MedPro Insurance, he's got the National Indemnity Company. So he has all these insurance. And
don't be speeding down this road.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Don't worry about it. Keep going, Stace. Your mic.
Boom, got it.
There
Okay.
you go.
What did I go back to? What did it? Oh, yeah. So he has Geico,
the General.
he has the General RE, the MedPro, and the National Indemnity Company. So he has all these insurance companies inside of Berkshire Hathaway with the stocks that I mentioned. He's got several more. I didn't name all of them. But another good one he has in there is waste management. We all use garbage. Everybody throws away paper every day. You threw away trash a few minutes ago. Well, he has a whole lot of waste management company in there because they buy companies that will be around forever and people use them all the time. But as far as the insurance goes, the insurance company float is money. It's what they call a float. I'm sorry. They have something called a float. And what a float is, whenever you pay your insurance every month, that money is set to the side for claims. But if no one makes a claim, then the insurance company has to do something with that money. So Warren goes out and he buys more of the companies that everybody uses, like Coca-Cola, Waste Management, Apple, Bank of America, to make that money, make more money. So even if you decided to pay out a claim, he has that money to cover it. Plus he's making all these different investments to keep the wheel, to keep his money wheel flowing. Berkshire Hathaway owns business insurance, rail transportation, energy generation, and distribution, manufacturing, and retailing. Insurance generate the most revenue, but manufacturers generate the most earnings before taxes. Right now, the price of a Berkshire Hathaway Class A stock is $415,000 a share. However, the Berkshire Hathaway Class B stock is $275 a share, which is probably about the price of a pair of Pradas or, nice sweatsuit. So you can get in on all this insurance money, all these great companies that he's holding, and be like Bill and Melinda Gates. Their portfolio is 40% is Berkshire B of Warren stock. So I just kind of broke down the insides of that fund, and if anybody got any questions, I'd be glad to take them. But if not, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. Investing of any kind involves risk. Consult a professional financial advisor or a professional fiduciary before you do any type of investing.
Hey, you want to know something, man? That next play negative made it, but I hope everybody really understand what that float is. How much money the insurance companies really be keeping can reinvest. I hope everybody caught that one. Like I hope everybody caught on to that right there because that's the big player. That those are the big players, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave that for another
Well,
day.
you can elaborate on a little bit how you feeling when you
I
talk.
mean, we talk about whales, we talk about the hedge funds, but they don't have no money. And that's the craziest part about it. When you look at the fact that the insurance companies have more money coming in every month than they willing to pay out in claims. So when you look at a place, and then the other thing is they're private. Nobody can regulate the insurance companies. The insurance companies are not public. You can't go buy the insurance companies on the stock market. You can't touch the insurance companies unless you got enough money to get in the inside. This is how the game for the insurance is the money maker. Because none of the insurance companies you're gonna find that are worth anything are actually public. Nobody, the regular person cannot get to the insurance company to invest.
Yeah,
Except,
you can invest in the insurance company. They got their own funds. Like that's the only way. That's the only way you really can get in.
yeah,
But you can't like get a piece of it
yeah.
because it's so much. And then with Warren, his stuff is so tight until the only way to get at him is to buy Berkshire because he got all those companies inside his fund. So Wall Street cannot manipulate his fund.
Nope.
Wall Street can't touch him. That's why, I mean, that was the inside of how his fund worked. That's why it stands alone, man, and it's worth 415,000 a share on the
Wow.
A side,
All the companies that he own are private.
private.
He don't have
Mm-hmm.
no
Private.
companies on the stock market that they can just come in and just deal like play with, mess with, short, like
Shorted,
none
right?
of that. Like the craziest part, there's a company here in Georgia that everybody thinks is one of the biggest companies in North Georgia, and he owns it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I tell it, I mean, it ain't nothing.
Yeah,
We
go
share.
ahead.
I
It's,
mean,
it's, it's what is it?
Shaw Industries, the carpet
Up
manufacturer,
in Dalton, man.
up
Oh
in
yeah, up in
Dalton,
Dalton.
up in Dalton. Right here in Georgia, he owns all your flooring, all your carpet, all that stuff comes right from the company because guess what? Every house gotta have carpet. Every house gotta have flooring for the rest. For it, even though you see Burks, they own houses too, but them same houses that he owns gotta have carpet, gotta have flooring. And the
Mm-hmm.
man is a genius. The man is a genius.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. Well, we go on to Slam and Sam with the news, with the hot tea.
Hey, everybody, here we are, and we're gonna start it off with the news. Top of the list is, but not the top of the chart. It's Merck. Merck, their pill is supposed to cut hospitalization time, and it's supposed to cut death rates in half by 50%. I pulled Merck, looked at their charts, and the prices aren't bad, but should have made the play like last week if you were looking at buying those stocks. Last week they were down, and of course, all the other ones like Pfizer and all those had dropped, and Merck just went up. It just, went the opposite way, of course, because of the news. That being said, the next story is about NFTs. NFTs. You actually have it's being revolutionized by collectors. Collectors are starting to adopt NFTs because they say it makes it more exciting. People can see their collections. So they're, instead of taking those collectibles, such as baseball cards, all kind of other stuff that they collect and putting it somewhere to collect dust, they're taking those same items and putting them into NFTs. So everybody can actually see them, but everybody won't actually own them. So, and one big name everybody might know that's adopting this is Grant Hill, who is the co-owner of Atlanta Hawks. So he is endorsing the NFT sector. And the way he explained it is that before, when you collected things, that the professional athletes weren't in on it. Like, say you had I know it's a bad example, say an old OJ Simpson jersey, and you had it. Well, you're the only one, only like private investors could bid on it. You know what I'm saying? The professional athletes or no one else really could bid on it because they were sanctioned. But now that everything, if they take it on over to NFTs, now everybody can actually bid on that collectible item. So there's more revenue going to be stirred up in it. And here's the kicker. The NFTs, they accept Bitcoin, all kind of cryptocurrencies and everything else. So that's going to broaden the base as far as cryptocurrencies. So just thought that was a little bit of interesting news. And last but not least, I don't know how many of you guys have heard of Strike.
That's a credit card.
Yeah, that's the one. Payment processing.
Yeah, it's a payment processing company, and actually, this is the the company that actually is headed off everything in El Salvador. So they're actually the ones that monetize El Salvador, basically making Bitcoin their monetization, like making their economy run all off Bitcoin, basically. Strike is the company behind that. Strike is only 18 months old now, in case you guys don't know. And also, its network is, they have joined in partnership with Twitter. So they're using Twitter to spread all their stuff out. The Bitcoin, they partnered with Twitter versus PayPal and Visa, because they're saying that PayPal and Visa are closed-ended monetization companies. No good for them. They need open end so they can go worldwide. Well, that way it can grow with, the economy, with the times and everything. And now they are going to start using Bitcoin, basically, for their monetization scales. So just wanted you guys to know, Strike might be a good strike. I don't know if they're on the, on a platform yet, far as trading stocks or anything. I'm thinking not, because they're only 18 months old, but I would definitely flag this one and wait for it, because it's definitely going to be a winner. But I'm not your fiduciary advisor. Hey, please consult expert, and please do your homework on all the companies. This is just for entertainment purposes only. And we're gonna take this on over to my boy Franco. Man says failure is not an option.
Okay. Hey man, you know, man.
Hey, I got a question real quick.
Go
What's
ahead.
up?
This is the group. I don't know if anybody can help me, but if I got baseball cards, right? I got them out of one of my houses probably like 20 years ago. This guy had I don't know, man. I probably got about 500-600 baseball cards that he left in the house, and it was like a clean out, and I kept them. So my question is, could I use that in the NFT world? Does
Yes
anybody
and
know?
no.
I would say yes.
Yes and no. Um, if nobody has you digitized that particular NFT, you can possibly use it. If somebody has, because the baseball cards were made, it's kind of like the first person to get there that claim ownership is who gets to
Yeah, but
is
aren't baseball cards numbered, Frank? So
that number, but the whole point of it is whoever digitized it first, and if you can prove ownership. You see what I mean? So the baseball cards it's more like if you can get it digitized and prove it. Now you're gonna have to get that same baseball card saying you own it and nobody else can claim it, and you got to get it digitized to where that baseball card is yours, and you got to be able to do ownership. I've looked into it a couple of times because I really want to know about a lot of it, and I'm kind of studying it. It ain't something I'm doing adamantly, but what you got is you got a thing of you got to create the chain of ownership. Like you got it. What makes it original? That you know what I'm
But
saying? Like that has,
I'm saying, but the card,
he
it's
has the
somebody else's
physical
card.
card.
but you got to realize how many more cards did they print?
That's what I'm saying. If it's numbered and the number is low, that's proof. He has it, physical proof, and
Okay,
all he
now,
has to digitize the front and the back of the card with the number on it, right?
okay, so now what if somebody come along with a number lower than yours? So it's really like who gets there first. You got to make sure
Well, if a
nobody.
number's lower than his, then they're bidding on it. It's not, I mean, it's not for sale or anything like that, right?
Nah, I mean it's kind of like trademarking. You got to look at it as trademarking first. It's just another form of trademarking. Whoever trademarked a phrase first, that's who owned the first. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at it, you got to look at it as more like trademarking, because it's if I just like we got the thing I'm always saying the thing is if I go ahead and trademark it and get it, nobody every time somebody else use it, they got to pay me. That's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with NFT. It's just a different form of trademarking. People are trademarking things. It's kind of like when you look at these growers and they've trademarked like the seedless vegetables and stuff. And one particular grower can grow seedless vegetables like everybody loves like fucking cotton candy grapes. Well, it's only one grower that can name their grapes cotton candy grapes. Same thing with NFT. Like you can, but they just took it to a point where anybody can buy it and use it, and you know what I mean. But the person that get paid is the person that created the first one. So the more unique your NFT is, the more money it costs. That's why that guy's NFT sold for so many millions because it was the most unique NFT at the time. Just like with the rapper that did his album cover, it was unique just to him. Nobody else could do it. So when you look at baseball cards, it's really who gets to the trademark first. You know what I mean? Because that's just what it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. That's why I love next play.
Hey, you know, man, I'm keeping up with a lot of stuff over here, so you know, I be trying to
Somebody gonna know something around here.
somebody gonna know something. Oh man, okay, man. We getting this 8:40, man. We done ran through talking and tripping tonight. But I got a thing that I want to share with y'all, man. Two things I want to share. They didn't put the GDP numbers out like they were supposed to, and I'm gonna show you why. It's really crazy,
Mm.
man, because we talking
Because
about.
Friday fell on the first, maybe.
Well, I'm gonna let them say. I'm gonna show y'all these numbers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show you the numbers just because I want everybody to understand where we at. You know what I'm saying? And we've been having a lot of growth in GDP numbers. But they didn't, we're going to say Friday. We're going to give them the ability to say it because it was Friday and everybody was off work and everybody was trying to go through TGIF at Friday. So they ain't put the numbers out. But the crazy part is I went and found them anyway. You know what I mean? So, if we want to find something, know something, like I said, failure is not an option. You know what I mean? So like I said, I mean, that whole thing, I'm gonna run it up the middle all week, and that's just what it is. But what I did do, and this is the first part I want to show y'all, man, because it's really interesting, man, how these people play games with us, and we really sit back and look at it like, you know what I'm saying? So you'll see this is the old GDP. Well, last month, last 2 quarters, um, we keep seeing this whole thing of the GDP going up, GDP going up. Well, it went up 4.6 last time. Well, now I'm gonna show you something that I just found out, and everybody on the live can see it, and everybody else can see it. I had to go to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta to really get this information today because they didn't put it out. But what you're gonna find is the economy, for some reason, slowed down a little bit during this third quarter,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it only grew 2.3%. So this is
Oh,
so
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting that they put this out because this is the first estimate for the third quarter. They haven't really put all the numbers out, but I had to go find it. As anybody see, this is on the Atlanta Fed website. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is not I leave it up there for everybody to see. But yeah, this is on the Atlanta Fed website. Every city, every state has their own Fed, and
Yeah.
the numbers are available. So if you're looking for data to figure out certain things, you go to city. You can go. You got to have a worldview, but you go from state, then you go to the federal level, then you go to the worldview, and you gonna find that the same structure is everywhere because everybody is cohesive in the information that they're pushing for everybody to have. But what you're gonna have, so what you're gonna see right now is it only grew 2.3%, and that's
oh,
down from 3.2%. So we got a situation where we're sitting here looking at this,
yeah,
um,
that
and
real.
we're seeing a downtrend of the money.
Yep.
So this is gonna
Yep.
bring me to where we at. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm going to talk about tonight because I think it's really interesting. I ran across some information that I'm going to give everybody because we almost at the top of the hour again. And I think it's really interesting because how like it's really interesting. We had 2 months, 2 quarters of growth, and now we back on a downtrend. What happened? So what would we call this? Would we call this a contraction? Would we call this a um
Pullback.
pullback? What
Well, but that GDP number is it the previous quarter, right? That's the
what the,
previous quarter.
no, we in the third quarter. This is the third quarter. We in the fourth quarter now.
But it's
Right. That's right.
indirect.
So that's the
Right.
previous quarter.
That's the previous quarter. The previous
Yeah.
quarter, it was a downtrend in money.
Well, the downward trend in money, you know what that is. All those checks stopped rolling and all that stuff. And people started saying, wait a minute, we ain't got no more money.
Well,
So
that's some
it's
really good
that's a
information right there,
pullback.
though,
Yeah,
because those are real numbers.
them real
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. Real number.
And so that brings me to the point of what I want to bring up today. Um, I think it's really interesting because I got this information. I'm gonna share it with everybody. I got this chart right here from one of my sources, and I'll tell y'all later. And the source is this hill that you see here. The beginning of one is the boom, and number 5 is when everything finna go bust. Me and Stacy, and I mean I don't know who else read it, but
Yeah.
Ray Dalio always said that the economic had a cycle. And me and Stacy
Mm-hmm.
both, we watch, we look in the, we read Ray Dalio. He put me on it, and I've always remembered like the economic cycle. Well, somebody else this weekend gave me this. I'm still doing some studying into it, but I brought it to the group because it was interesting to show, like in the early boom, everything you should buy is capital goods, technology, and transportation.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the middle, you get the capital goods. And when you get to the late part of the boom, energy, basic materials, consumer staples.
What did I just buy?
Mm. So
Energy.
so you look at this. When you first start having early contraction of the economy, you want to buy consumer staples and utilities.
Mm-hmm.
In late contraction, which we get when it's at the bottom, you want to buy financials, consumer cyclicals. So, it's one of them situations where this chart was given to me and I wanted to pose a question. I really don't I think the GDP thing kind of showed that was pretty much all I wanted to show you, that we actually had a decline for the first time in the economy this quarter. The economy has been blowing the doors off the roof since the pandemic hit. This is the first decline in the economy for almost a year and a half. So my question to everybody on here, we talk about these stocks and everything. We talk about these stocks and we talk about the economy. We have a world view. Where do you think we at?
Well, I think I think based upon the studying of Anton Krill, and that's why we watch the GDP.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's down, then we head in another direction.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So, hey, I say tread lightly, keep the stop losses tight. Depending on what you're buying, keep them tight. Buy good companies.
Yeah.
Well, well, I mean,
Definitely.
this chart was given because it says in the stage that we're at in the economy, you got to pick the type of stocks that's going to actually make money. And
Mm-hmm.
this is all for a reference, but it came from someone that is really big. And so that's why I say Sam just said he bought some energy just a minute ago. So are we in the late part of the boom? Because this is the
Mm-hmm.
first quarter of the pullback. So that makes sense that we may be in the late part of the boom, getting ready to start the early contraction. Because you think about it, consumer staples, guess what's finna come around? The
What?
holiday season.
Yes, sir.
All consumer staples are products that consumers are going to spend over a period of time.
Right?
Utilities, guess what? Winter finna come. So are we in the early contraction or are we in the late boom?
Well, early contraction
Well,
and
it
late
can.
boom.
Because in the late boom, we buy energy, basic materials, and consumer staples. Pretty much the same thing.
They're just about there. I think we're in the you know, the late.
So
Why do you say that? Why do you say the late contraction?
The the reason I say that is because um the holiday season isn't quite upon us. We're moving into winter right now. Um, consumer staples and utilities and stuff, we know that those are going to roll higher, but they aren't there right now. Right now, it's just where we are as far as seasons go, and everybody's trying to either get where they're going to be for the winter or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? As far as moving around and everything, they like to sort of settle down during the winter. In the spring, they up and start moving around and spending more money. Right now, they're in that pullback time. Watch your money. Everybody tightens their belt when it gets around Christmas time and everything. But because they're at home, power bill goes up, all the other stuff goes up. So that's my reasoning for it now. So,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't we be in the early stages of a contraction when the economy when the GDP just came down about a point and a half? Why wouldn't that be the early stages of a contraction from 4% down to 3.5%?
It sounds like, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, no, it's the third quarter, and we're going into the fourth quarter. Okay. Right. It's the first. If you first to anything, you're early, especially if you have a contraction,
Yeah.
you be an early baby. I'm just trying to line it all together. And
Basically.
and guess what else?
Yeah. Look at energy.
Right. Which is a part of utilities, right? I know. Uh-huh.
And look at material. And look, yeah.
Where?
And look at material. Materials on the chart too. Yeah.
So so you saying if utilities is at the bottom, is that what you saying?
No, I'm saying they go it where's utility? Utilities is
Right.
up at the top of the chart just about. It will be consumer staples and utilities. Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
so you're saying that that energy is either financials or consumer cyclicals?
Consumer staples. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
It's tricky. Yeah, based upon the GDP.
Yep.
Right. Which I'm looking at that as being good buying opportunities.
Oh, it definitely is
So,
good buying
and
opportunity.
also, and also to what this chart is designed for is to make some adjustments in your portfolio,
Exactly. Yep.
depending on where we're at in the sector. And the crazy part about it, we won't know what the GDP for the fourth quarter looks like until January.
Yep. So right now you should be looking into consumer staples and utilities. Probably.
But check this out. But what if we just go strictly by the data? If we go strictly by the numbers are saying that we lost. Period. Yeah. 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 So if you
Yep.
yeah, they went down. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And see how everything actually kind of go around because uh, it was just one of those situations of everything. It's gonna be everything.
Well, you could also try to dig and see what the big investors are buying too.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Are they buying consumer staples and utilities right now?
Well, that was the next step that I'm gonna do this week. We're gonna use our tools, and we're gonna use our tools, and we're gonna let the tools do the work. You know what I mean? And then
And
that way
have
we'll be able to, kind of come back and give it to everybody on TV on the show and see where everybody at with it because that's definitely what we want to make sure we get done. But I wanted to show everybody what was going on, so
okay,
so everybody will be able to see it and everybody know we'll be all good. It is so anybody like we got anything else? It's the 9 o'clock
yeah.
hour. We actually
Anybody
want to
else?
welcome Nicole to the show. She late.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey Nicole, she been out in them street.
I'm sorry. I have. I just look. People are still celebrating my birthday. Okay, because I
Oh,
didn't.
happy
Yeah,
birthday!
yeah.
Happy
Did you
birthday!
say
Happy
happy
birthday!
birthday?
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
My
You only a
listen.
day
When
over
you get listen,
17.
when you go offline, I gotta tell you all what happened today. It like freaked me out. I've been messed up. I've been messed up all day. Really,
All right,
for real.
all right. Well, it's the 9 o'clock hour. Too sweet to be
Is, is,
sour.
Fra-
Been
is,
a
is
great
Frank
show.
doing his closing
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
It's
people?
good.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us here at Next Play Investing. We want to welcome you back every Sunday at 7:30 to 9:30. We're here to discuss all different types of investments, from real estate, stocks, business, insurance, infinite banking, everything before and after. We definitely want you to check us out. Join the group on Facebook. Look on YouTube as well as you can catch us on Instagram and be able to see the replays of different parts of the show. We want to thank you for coming out, and we definitely want to hope you see you again. And as anybody always says, and we always tell you, we welcome you to understand that we're looking for the next play. And other than that, see y'all next week. Have a good one.